For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody, it's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street and there's nobody anywhere. There's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. And crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Have we missed the GPH boat? What is the latest with regard to the Sufra Regional Development Foundation plans to increase fees at the Sulphur Springs, among other areas that are under its jurisdiction? And also coming up on the broadcast this afternoon, Bannon's Bay. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the subscribe button. We'll be together, or click onto the subscribe button. We'll be together until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And during the course of the program, your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Amanda is here this afternoon, so she'll be going through some of your comments in your chat room. Imagine I was so overwhelmed yesterday, I did not go through not a single comment. My apologies to that, and things certainly will be a lot better today. So why did I say that we might have missed the GPH boat? After the fact, after the signing, after certain areas on the port has been blocked off, after residents and business people and fisher folk have been relocated or on the verge, in some cases, of being relocated, all of a sudden, we have this epiphany, this realization, boy, we should have done something about this, We were just too docile. We were just too quiet. And I'm not preaching against being docile. I'm not saying that we should be violent. I'm just saying that maybe some people, to put it nicely, should keep quiet as far as that deal is concerned. Because many people in St. Lucia, those who are speaking out right now, gave the impression that one, they could not have done anything about it, and two, it was a good deal. And therefore, the government that was elected to represent their interest had carte blanche to do what it wanted in the name of the citizens or the citizenry. That is not how it is done in other jurisdictions. And we could name a few. Dominica, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana. People take a deep interest in the affairs of the countries in those territories. In the case of St. Lucia, our culture is that's our government. And we can see that the government is going in the wrong direction in a particular issue. We can see that the government is being hypocritical. But let's side with our government. That's our government. And if this is weighing on our conscience, we might speak about it quietly. We might oppose behind the closed doors, among friends, among relatives, family, etc. But in the absence also of any kind of clear explanation from the government, and we must never ever trust our governments, whether it's a government of the UWP or the SLP. We must never trust our governments. We ought to be very cynical. We ought to be critical and exercise a level of caution when governments propose certain things to you. It's like a reporter gets a press release. You don't read that press release verbatim or word for word on the air, because the author of that press release is hiding certain facts. So you need to go through that press release thoroughly, try to decipher, try to see what is being hidden, then ask questions of the author of that press release. In the case of St. Lucia, whether it's a Flambeau government or étoile government, tout ça yo di, ivwe. C'est premier ministre la qui di, ivwe. Moka kwe Philippe Pierre sa di, moka kwe Alain Chasney sa di. So, mazema de question. And years later, and I believe that this GPH deal will haunt us for the next few decades. And I think future generations will be shaking their heads in disbelief. Cannot believe that the people of that particular era of 2021, 2022, 23, 24, etc. were that gullible. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good deal. What I am saying, I am not in a position to form an opinion that is based on facts, that is based on the contents of that agreement. I mean, you pose questions to your MPs, you pose questions to ministers and the Prime Minister and so on, and you do not get any kind of thorough clarification. They hedge, they pre-verificate, they go around the issue. They're just engaging in an exercise all aimed at distracting you or throwing you off course. So again, we cannot exist in an environment, in a society. I'm talking about society, or a civil society and all that. I know I'm wasting my time. Those people at Banners Bay who have been affected, the fisher folk, business people, the residents. And some of you are listening and watching know that for a fact. In more enlightened environments, your Barbados, your Jamaica, your Trinidad, a group of concerned citizens, real concerned citizens, and attorneys would have come forward and presented and offered their services pro bono. They would have. Because, I mean, as a professional, as a lawyer, etc., things weigh on your conscience. I don't know if Miss Mary Francis, considering her frailty, would have considered that. Because talking about housing, land ownership, that is a human right. But those people, and let's be realistic about this, let us be as honest as possible about this particular issue. They were lamb to the wolves. How are you going to negotiate a good deal on your behalf when you're facing GPH with all their connections and their lawyers at their disposal? They give you a piece of paper, it's like, take it or leave it. And in St. Lucia, over the last few years, when I say last few years, I'm talking about during the reign of this administration only, but for a while now, when you're talking about consultation, that's what? There's no consultation. Things are shoved down your throat, and you must swallow it because you are powerless. There's nothing you can do about it. And those in authority will boast about what? Consultation. You didn't consult the people. Just like a minister or government says, we'll listen to the people. Yes, you listen, but you don't act on their concerns. So, let us listen to Mr. Tommy Descott, the United Workers' Party candidate for Castries South. Spoke with him on the NewsSpin program on Tuesday of this week, and he spoke on the Bannans Bay situation.
It is deeply concerning what is transpiring at Bannans Bay as we currently speak. Tim, you'll be aware that SLASPA and the government have begun the process of forcefully relocating persons. And I want us to understand the word forcibly relocating these individuals, Tim. There are currently about 40% families out there. And what is transparent, it lacks transparency, accountability, and compassion to the basic rights of these people, Tim. Globally, whenever you are going to displace persons, there are standard practices that you need to abide by, especially when it requires the involuntary resettlement of project-affected persons. And so, Tim, what we are seeing is a government that has allowed GPH and also SLASPA to start this process without genuine consultation, Tim. My understanding, persons are now rendered homeless. Some have started to squat. And we know in Castries South there is an issue with unplanned development, Tim. And therefore, no development in Castries South should reinforce unplanned development and squatting practices. So it speaks volumes about the government who claims to care. And importantly, any development that the government undertakes must do no harm to individuals, but also it should also improve the quality of life of these persons qualitatively, Tim. So this is a serious concern for me as a caretaker candidate for the United Workers' Party, and I want to draw attention to this, Tim.
What do you think is the way forward to deal with this particular issue so that GPH can go ahead with the development of the port and also the residents, fishermen, and also the other individuals there, they can continue to eke out a living while they are settling somewhere else?
So, Tim, I'm also understanding that a compensation package has already been decided upon. As to how the compensation package was derived, I don't know. Was it a unilateral decision by GPH and SLASPA to say X amount will be valued for someone's house and these monies will be handed over to them? That's not how development is done, Tim. What a caring government should have done, a caring government should have initiated genuine, inclusive, respectful consultation, Tim. That consultation should involve the affected persons, the fisher folk, persons who live there, and all of the residents, the adjoining residents and business sectors around it. Tim, then what this government should have done was carry out a comprehensive economic and socio-economic impact assessment on these in that particular project. That should have been paid by either SLASPA or GPH to get a full appreciation of the ramifications and the cost of these initiatives, that particular project, on the livelihoods of these persons. You have children, from my understanding, who live there, Tim. Once that cost is fully appreciated, and that is not just the replacement value of the structures, Tim, the loss of income during the construction of whatever port that they will be building along that area. And thirdly, they must ensure that the transitionary period, persons cannot be rendered homeless while GPH is building this thing in Banan. What a caring government should have done was go and find rental apartments, pay for these persons, and ensure that during the transitionary period, these persons are not rendered homeless and are not squatting left in a situation to be squatting to. So once that is done, then you must have a resettlement action plan. What we see is not resettlement, is dislocation of our people, and that must itemize a timeline, a compensation package, and all the necessary support services to ensure these persons can now live in a level of dignity, and also during that process eke out a quality of life, and their livelihoods are not meaningfully impacted.
You just heard there from Mr. Tommy Descartes, who is the United August Party candidate for Castries South in the upcoming general election. This issue was also addressed last evening during the DBS program News Make Alive by the first deputy political leader of the UWP, Mr. Guy Joseph.
They knew from 2022 that these residents would be affected. Why is it on the eve of an election and GPH coming in to do something that you are all of a sudden relocating these people? And you're not relocating them, you're giving them $17,500, but they must sign an agreement that says, have you seen the agreement, Tim?
I've seen it, yeah.
The agreement says that once you sign, you have no more recourse. You have no more claim for anything. That's why they want them to break down the houses themselves so they cannot say anything was damaged. Is that fair for a government? Your average citizen, some of them who cannot even read and write properly, struggling people, to put them through that when you knew from 2022 you went into that agreement. And to further compound the situation, the area is represented by Ernest Healy, the minister who went into the arrangement with Global Port Holding. Is that fair to the people? Now, today it is Banans Bay, but Quelas is coming, and I'm putting the people of Sufra on notice, because the GPH arrangement will have to relocate the people of Quelas. They're not telling us what the agreement is, Tim. But there is a lot that is going to happen. They are taking over Laplace Carinage also. And in the agreement has what? That there is resistance from Point Seraphine, from Invest St. Lucia, to allow GPH to go ahead. So GPH is raising objection in the agreement. Tim, this thing is dirty. This thing is not good for St. Lucia. Everybody have said it is not good except the government ministers.
Mr. Guy Joseph speaking on last evening's News Make Live broadcast on DBS television. The way forward, if a United August Party administration has to revisit that GPH deal, we'll be hearing from Mr. Guy Joseph later in the broadcast. But first, the Sufra Regional Development Foundation places hold on proposed fee adjustments to facilitate broader sector dialogue, according to a June 4th, 2025 press release. And it reads, the Sufra Regional Development Foundation announces a temporary hold on the proposed adjustments to fees related to its managed sites and jetty operations. This decision reflects SRDF's commitment to ongoing dialogue with key tourism stakeholders as the foundation works to ensure that its policies remain responsive to the evolving needs of the sector. Considering recent developments, there is a recognized need for a broader conversation about rescue arrangements, docking policies, charging structures, and operational protocols. SRDF is initiating this pause to allow space for meaningful engagement around these issues and to support the development of a comprehensive, coordinated, and sustainable approach to tourism management in Sufra. The SRDF remains confident that through structured dialogue, the tourism framework in Sufra can continue to evolve in a way that protects the visitor experience while strengthening the community's economic resilience. Now, many people have been up in arms with regard to the planned increase of the charges that will be imposed on persons who are operating at certain sites that are owned and operated by the Sufra Regional Development Foundation. That would have included the Sulphur Springs, in some instances moving from $50 to $200, as we heard from the former MP for the area, Mr. Harold Stanislas. But it was only last Friday, that we heard from the current MP, Miss Emma Hippolyte. This is what she said.
I know,
Yes.
based on the information I have, that discussions are being held with vendors, boaters, all stakeholders working with the foundation.
Right.
Apparently, these discussions took place from last year.
Right.
And there was agreement as to certain fees being charged. And again, I heard when we came here this morning, I heard the lady calling to say persons should not call persons' names. But when you look at the letters,
More specifically, liars.
Liars, right. But when you came and when I look at the information that I have before me, the information that the gentleman has in the letter of indicating or in the statement that fees move from $50 to $200 is not true. Is not true. It is not true. It is correct that the Sufra Regional Development Foundation had conversations with vendors, boaters, whoever else that they deal with from last year concerning fees. There were certain changes in the fees, but there was never a change from $50 to $200. Now, some people are paying $50, some people are paying $100, some people are paying $200, some people are paying $300, especially the spas and so on. So it is not correct what he has presented.
MP for Sufra for St. Jacques, Ms. Emma Hippolyte, speaking on the Rev. St. Lucia hosted program Meet the Minister, and she was on that broadcast last Friday. Allow me to invite you to call right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and in just a bit, Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Somebody says that Jah Rasta, Father God, put a hand in St. Lucia and housing the hurricane season, and now that the hurricane season is approaching. And let us see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Okay. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I would like to highlight the serious danger drivers pose to other drivers by misusing their high beams on the road and in the process blinding other drivers coming on the opposite direction. I don't know if it is just a bunch of bullies who are pushing this or if it is just some reckless trend, but it is dangerous. In a split second of blinding a driver, you can cause a car crash and then just continue on your merry way. Is this fair? I hope drivers take heed, particularly when driving in well-lit areas. We have a call via WhatsApp as we say hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good day, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Tim, I want to try to be as, how they say it, plain as possible so that the people like me, the laymen, can understand. Because I don't know, Tim. But you can judge from what you've been seeing in St. Lucia. I will not stand up there and say Labour Party is not doing anything good, Tim. But this is what I've been saying. I was talking to a friend and he was pointing out some things like the one graduate per house. They've been going out trying to get scholarships, talking about the youth economy and saying these are good things and whatnot. But Tim, listen to that. What I've been saying over the years and what I've been saying to people is that for you to really have a sustainable country, for you to really have a country where things are moving at a pace that is a system that is helping everybody, you cannot come and you taxing the people, the skin of their backs, and then now you're going on the other side, you giving them some benefits from the same tax you took off them. Tim, that not making sense. It's better you leave the taxes at a manageable rate where people can still have the power to spend. Now, I've said that many times, and somehow the scholars don't get it. Tim, profit does not always mean that you have to put your profit at the highest rate. Okay? Look at the people that are... I do vending, Tim. I vend... from the time I was 5 years old, I know myself selling, Tim. And I can tell you, putting your price at a cheap rate does not mean that you will not make money. Tim, it is simple logics. Especially with us black people, we like to... The moment you see black people have money, they spend. Okay? The bars make more money. Marcy makes more money. Yeah, everybody buying something they did not even need, but they're going to buy it. So the more spending power you can get your people to have, is the more the government in turn will make money. Because the more the business places will order. So when I speak against the Labour Party, I'm speaking against the way in which their policies affect us directly. Underneath a United Workers' Party government, they will create initiatives that will cause an upward in economic activity. So, for example, I am from the South, so I like to use the South. Ojo Labs and ITEL was brought in. You know what that was doing for young people in the South, team? $3,000-$4,000 salary, as far as I understand. You understand? And with that salary, you did not even need the youth economy. Because the amount of monies these young people were making, they did not need the need for a little $5,000 government giving. Because they could have do their own thing for themselves. You had the race track where young persons were learning the skill of, how there's the name of the thing with the horse system, I can't remember. But you had young people that was working there, engaging in learning how a skill where they could also go overseas and do that same thing and make money. You understand? You had the construction sector in especially St. Jude's and the airport. All of that was generating revenue. That made a turn in the economy, especially in the South. But the Labour Party has turned that around now and is now increasing taxes to make money and to now give us all of those handouts. Whilst those little things, like I said, they are good things, Tim. But at what cost? It's the same thing with the universal healthcare they're trying to push right now, Tim. Have you heard what is going to finance that universal healthcare? Tim, by the time you finish with your salary, you understand, if you do not fall sick anytime soon, you will be broke before you reach the point where you can fall sick to enjoy that universal healthcare. Because they will be taxing it off our skins. You understand?
But
So
Kola,
while the
it's
Labour
about
Party-
it's about time that we have universal healthcare, you know. I mean, so many of
Tim,
our
universal
governments
healthcare
have
cannot
promised
work in
this.
St. Lucia.
Why it cannot work?
It cannot work, Tim, because
Why?
the financing of it is where the problem is.
because something will have to finance it, Tim, and the government cannot finance it.
No,
And
but
because the government cannot finance it, they have to take it off us.
the workers can finance it alongside the government.
But that is what I'm telling you.
The same way we are
but
paying.
That is what I'm telling you.
The same way we are paying our NICs, and the employees and the employers are paying half. The same thing can be done with universal healthcare.
It will come at a greater cost.
But we don't have a choice.
Unlike the health insurance, unlike the health insurance, which is a bit different. You understand? The insurance style of it's different. But when it comes to the universal healthcare, it has to come from directly our pockets. You understand? So the rates have to be higher to be able to finance it. With the insurance, so for example, you have a health insurance team. You fall sick sometimes 1 year into that health insurance, and you have not paid $10,000 to that insurer, and who knows, your bills come into $15,000. You understand? You have not lost anything, and the rates, the way it's going, it's different. But with the health universal healthcare team, the funds have to come from directly from us. There's no insurance to create the buffer between you and the institution that carries out the whole universal healthcare. It is something that will be very costly on us. So we cannot go down that route.
But
why
Colin,
do you think that has not really worked out in most other countries?
But we need to get to the bottom of that matter, sir. We definitely
we need to get to the bottom of it, but it certainly cannot work as universal. It has to be health insurance. But Tim, this is what I'm saying with the Labour Party, and this is my problem. Too much secrecy and too many things are happening that we cannot, whilst you getting the handout, but you have to take it off my back. Create initiatives. Stop being lazy and giving all our big pots and everything to foreigners, and they're making the money, and we have to now pay taxes to take care of ourselves. That's not making sense. Government need to. The same thing with what you described yesterday thing with what they're doing to Adban. And that was what I was done in Viewfort. The complex in Viewfort. That is exactly what that is there. What you described yesterday on NewsSpin, they're going to do at Bannans. This is exactly what that was done in Viewfort. It was done in Viewfort by the Japanese, I believe, using local workers and everything, and nobody had to hold our pots for how long to do it. Why can't it be done that way?
Okay, Colin. Thank you so much.
Why can't we invest our things? Thank you. Too.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's see if we get another call. Hello, good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Fue.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
It's your friendly neighborhood Atheist. Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Okay, so Tim, I'd like to echo the sentiments of my fellow Southerner in terms of universal health care versus health insurance, Tim, because I live in a country where health insurance is in every province. That's what we have, because universal health care, Tim, when a government itself has to pay for every single citizen, Tim, it's just not practical. Whereas with insurance, it's based on liabilities, right? So you pay your car insurance, right, Tim?
Yes.
So you have a liability coverage of up to how much? My liability coverage is $2 million, right? How much, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't want to disclose that, sir.
Okay, right. Well, I'm disclosing mine. Mine is what, $2 million. I pretty much have a basic package. So it costs me $420 a month for my car insurance. In the case of St. Lucia, it's cheaper compared to North America, because you guys pay insurance once a year and we pay insurance every month, right?
So you actually pay this insurance every month in Canada on a monthly basis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it is. So on a monthly basis, the rate base goes on where you live, the amount of the amount of crime in your neighborhood, car thefts, and so on and so forth, right? So if you want a decent package, you got to pay around $300 to $400. It also depends on your driving record too. So health insurance pretty much works the same way, because I have an OHIP card whereby I'm covered by the government. So when I walk into the hospital, I pretty much I pay zero unless if I need like specialty surgery, which is rare occasions, right? But it doesn't cover eye care and dental care to a certain extent. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So the insurance companies are the ones who really like take on the burden, the liability cost. So it's not it doesn't come out of the pocket of the government. So health insurance would be a much better plan, because I have seen with my own two eyes and with my own experience how it works in this country, and it doesn't seem to have any effect on the insurance company. They get their money. So I imagine some years they're going to win, and some years they're going to have to take their losses. You understand?
Yeah.
It's give and take. So I don't think universal healthcare, any government in this world outside of, as I stated to you before, places like Qatar, Luxembourg, Sweden, and countries that have natural resources where it has been like they share it with the citizens. I don't think universal health insurance is something that's practical in St. Lucia, Tim. Okay? So finally, Tim, I would also like to again appeal to the skepticism and the intelligence of the people of the South, and not to their credulity and their stupidity. When you go to the polls this time around, people of Ye for North, Ye for South, and Labrie, again, I'm appealing to you guys, please make a different choice, see what other options are out there, see if we can get an independent in there, a subsequent party outside of Labour Party, because really and truly, Labour are working for us 40 plus years, and them man ain't doing nothing for us. Anyways, Tim, you have a good day.
You too.
And big up Senior Rigobert, and bye, Amanda. Take care.
Thank you so much for calling. WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, I'm a bit concerned about the communication regarding the government's decision to suspend the 6% service charge on certain goods. The Gazette specifically indicates that the suspension is for the period of June 1st, 2025 to May 31st, 2026, which is about 1 year. However, according to a post on the Office of the Prime Minister's Facebook page, it indicates that the suspension is indefinite. I believe I know and understand the meaning of indefinite, which indicates that something is in place for an unstated length of time. I know governments believe that the citizenry is gullible and we don't read, but to blatantly lie like this is a slap in the face. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Once again, turn my attention to Amanda.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, News Spinners. Tim and News Spinner says there, Tim, the UWP has been screaming about this from day one, begging St. Lucia's to speak out. Our leader, Alan, has promised that when we get into government, we will do all that we can to correct this contract. There is so much the opposition can do. Now the commentary reads, Tim, you need to speak on Joachim Henry and his hypocrisy, claiming Guy Joseph wanted to give Roche land at a cheaper rate when he was minister. And News Spinner says there, when the government is doing things wrong, the supporters will say both governments. Another commentary reads, it's already haunting St. Lucia. Someone says there, St. Lucians do not care about each other. Everyone is left to fend for him or herself. This is so sad. Another commentary reads, Mr. Vanguard, 100 young men have written and signed a letter to the international community about the behavior of the housing minister, and they are aware of his insults and threats. Your organization has not cautioned him or investigated his comments. When we the young men take action, we are hoping that the police do not get involved in what will transpire. So many people that are involved in criminality are part of the Labour Party. When we revolt, we are hoping that
obviously we can't make that kind of accusation, Amanda. So you have to be extremely careful. We are in the city season, and they just can't wait to take legal action against us and to force us off the air. So we can't associate with that kind of comment.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on. A News Spinner says that the Prime Minister must know by now that Rockall residents will not be treated like Banan's residents. Since BMAX was disgraced by the Prime Minister, has said very little on the new arrangement with the new investor. Another commentary reads, the people in Banan's area, let me repeat what PJP said. What is behind is better than what's in front. You all must learn. Another commentary reads, they are taking advantage of the ignorance of the people where the law and their rights are concerned. Someone says here, Tommy Descat's Castries South will be very proud of you, and your candidacy will better the lives of the people of Castries South. Thank you for making that decision. United Workers' Party will rescue this country from the jaws of the heartless, wicked, crooked, criminal, and scampish SLP government. Another commentary reads, no amount of compensation can replace the land beneath our feet. The residents of Banan's land have chosen the heritage over handouts. Their roots run deeper than any offer, and their fight is our fight. Stand with them, stand for justice, SLP must go. Someone says the hold is temporary. After the election, they are going back to the increase, playing politics. Someone says wasn't the dialogue to be done before this? This is a really dare-dover government. So reactive, shake my head. How can we realize real progress with such a government? Someone says why is Aaron not talking about what his government is doing to the citizens of Banans Bay? Someone says here, there are always loopholes, clauses which will allow us to extricate ourselves from GPH. That will be dependent on who is in command after this election.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. We have some more still to come. Somebody says, just a little reminder, the power of the people is much stronger than the people in power. Still to come, we'll be hearing from Mr. Guy Joseph regarding how a United Workers' Party administration will deal with the GPH agreement. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fed, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big.
Costumes from legends, fusion just for fun too. Ixuvo tribe of 12, come jump with you crew. Get your receipts, write your name and number down, drop it in the box. You can be jumping in town, win tickets to mess, sun up, escape and more, plus KFC vouchers to keep you crunching for sure.
Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Do whatever they crunch you want.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouté at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilec averti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Priez Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outils ou ka servi pas vini moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you.
Just for me?
Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience.
So I get to treat myself every time I shop?
Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beats in every soul, a feeling we cannot It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Together going strong, no matter what we keep things flowing. For the people we will go home.
Why suffer in silence? At La Clinique de Corps, an approved universal healthcare clinic, you now have direct access to a team of internationally trained specialists from the US, France, Cuba, Venezuela, and more right here in St. Lucia. We treat chronic pain, sciatica, arthritis, lupus, nerve damage, carpal tunnel, and more with precision and care. We also offer advanced diagnostic nerve testing to detect hidden issues early before they become serious. All health insurances accepted. We assist you every step of the way. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950 today. La Clinique de Corps, where healing begins.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Bouteille. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Hello to all the folks who are monitoring from the various government departments, government offices, in particular the office of the Prime Minister. We know you are monitoring. UltraMed Health Services is a trusted provider of comprehensive medical care, offering a wide range of services from urgent care, laboratory services, and advanced ultrasound diagnostics. UltraMed Health Services is conveniently located in the Rodney Bay area behind the Baywalk Mall. Give them a call at 715-8484. That is 715-8484, 287-8484, 287-8484. And to book your medical appointment today, call 572-8484, 572-8484. UltraMed Health Services is located in Rodney Bay behind the Baywalk Mall. So good afternoon to you folks listening to the broadcast. Some are monitoring and some are listening. There is a vast difference. All right, let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Good to hear from NEMO Director. Tim, we are in another hurricane season and we have 2 new buildings in the Choiseul constituency, one in PI and the other in Roblo, and the government has refused to open these buildings for the past 2 years. These buildings were built under DVRP program along with the PI bridge. There was a big opening ceremony for the bridge. God forbid, if a hurricane should hit us, what would the residents do? According to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, I'm monitoring you two from a law firm. That's an attorney friend of mine. I know you'll defend me if it comes to that. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, you are not going to hear from Aaron Alexander because he's more interested in what is happening in Burkina Faso and not at Bannon's. Moi même ek brass politics. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And the person says via WhatsApp, Tim, Miss Emma Hippolyte talked about the prices on the jetty and Sulphur Springs Park was not true. So why was it removed and put back the way it was? Also, why is the foundation... Okay, I don't want to go into this one because I cannot prove that. I'm being extremely careful. Not a coward, just being extremely careful. Somebody said that they said Chasney leased underdeveloped land for $1 in V4, but they leased a working organization for 50 cents more. Two. Let's see if we have a call on the landline. In the meantime, allow me to go through. Okay, let's take a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon, St. Lucia. I know I've been off the air for a bit. I had the self-imposed silence. But there's so much happening in the country. I don't understand how anyone...
You'll have... I cannot hear you too... I'm not hearing you too clearly, ma'am. I don't know what device you're using, but you need to speak directly into the phone so we can hear you.
Okay, I had you on the speaker.
Yeah.
Let me take it
All right, so that's good. That's better.
Yeah, this is better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I don't understand how anyone who's concerned about the nation can remain silent at this time. There is so much that's going on. There's so much of the same, and we need to see some changes. I heard the Prime Minister say that anyone who has been on government or crown land for over 30 years will be given title to that land so long as they can prove that they were there for over 30 years. And the Banan land, we're being told, is crown land. So the Prime Minister says on one side of his mouth, if you've been there 30 years or more, I'll give it to you. And on the other side of his mouth, he's moving people off the land. I need the people to know that if you know that you've been there for 30 years or more, and it's not more than 30, it's 30 or more, and you leave, you will lose your right to get title to that land. You need to be on it to get it. If you leave it, you will no longer have the information you need to make your case to get it. So for those of you taking the $40,000 that will not give you a piece of land and a house, think carefully about the decisions you're about to make when it comes to the Banan land. Now, why are they rushing to develop Banan? We develop a port here. We're opening up a way for Renault's business, because remember, he just got into the import-export business. So now what we're going to do, have his own port for his own import-export business? This is a lot deeper than we think. This is a lot more complex than we think. What is happening in this country is really, really terrible for an island that is so small. Everybody can do well. But we're not looking at it this way. We're not trying to get it to work that way. We have a handful of people with access who are busy protecting each other, protecting the bad that they've done today, the bad that they're going to do tomorrow, and the bad that they did yesterday. That's all they're doing, is protecting each other. And in that protection, the rest of the nation suffers. Aren't people tired of suffering? Aren't men tired of getting $500 here and there? How is that making you a man when you take $500 from Pierre and he keeps you complacent? They keep you hungry. They keep you worried about how you're going to feed your children, your wives, your girlfriends. They keep you that way because in keeping you that way, your concern is on survival, not affluence, not getting better. The policies that I see right now with the government, and I've given them 4 years, I let them do their work, but the policies I see, none of these policies are going to help you leave anything behind for your children. What are you going to leave behind when you get a $500 here and a $500 there? We need men to be able to stand up as men. That's what we need to do. We need to help them get work, that they have a paycheck every month they can take to their homes. They have wives. This is St. Lucia. You know, they have job hours. They got to get paid too. So we need to give these men more to stand up with. So when they see boss, they don't say, boss man, give me a drink, boss man, give me $1. Why? Because they have work. But instead we do things like sell passports, give our ports over to foreign interests, because they are too lazy to sit down, figure out what can work in this country and to bring work to the people. The people need work, not handouts. The people need land, not promises, not words. Most of our lands are being sold to people who never carried a banana on their head, never swung a cutlass, never cut cane, never carried coals onto ships. Our parents did that. Our grandparents did that. Why are the best lands being given to foreigners at millions of US dollars that we know our people can never afford to pay for? Why are we doing that to people who are of this island? Why? But guess what? We say, I'm a Labour Party supporter, so I will support whatever Labour say. I'm a Flabo supporter, so I will support whatever Flabo does. But guess what? When Pierre first came in, the first thing he said, when he was asked about the vaccine money, he said, me, nah, that's not my style. I am not going after nobody. The tape is there. He was not going to do anything, yet he gave us a special prosecutor, knowing good and well that he was never going to push that special prosecutor to do any work. And the work was not for him. The work was not for UWP. The work was for the nation. But his intention was never to change anything. They talked and talked and talked about the situation in View Fort. They came in, did nothing about it. Nothing. Now we have GPH, and we are supposed to believe when UWP comes in power, they're going to do something about GPH. I don't think so, because that is not the way the system operates. The system operates to shield, protect the last ones, because guess what? We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to need to be shielded and protected ourselves. St. Lucians, wake up. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe what I'm saying to you. Open your eyes and look around you. No political party has your interest at heart. They do not. Look for people you know will have your interest at heart. The way things are going, I don't think anybody's going to change it. GPH, we don't even know who GPH is, because GPH used to be publicly traded. GPH has changed hands. The last I checked was somebody out of Africa who owned GPH. It's all Chinese related. We don't even know who owns our port at this point. But the port was a bad idea, because it's how our goods come in, it's how our ships come in, it's how we trade, and we alone should be owning that port. So if the UWP is serious, they would have filed an injunction against GPH already. Since they have not done that, I have no reason to believe that they're serious, but they should be serious. St. Lucians, wake up. The people of Banan, don't move. Do not move. Force Philippe Pierre to honor the policy that he just talked about. He will give it to you, go get it. But if you leave, you will lose your opportunity to get it. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody who used to reside at Leclerc, at the Leclerc CDC. Ask them what happened to them. Thanks, Timothy.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. Let's see if we have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Tim.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon. Tim, have you ever heard of the phrase or the statement, instead of giving somebody fish, I'd rather teach them how to fish.
Yes.
Well, that's what's going on. That's what's not going on, I should say here. The people who are taking the handouts, they'll never learn how to fish. And the handouts will be running out. So that's my very short contribution. They should, instead of giving people handouts or giving them fish, give them a fishing rod and teach them how to fish. Thanks, Tim.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. And of course, in just a moment, Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. We have a call in line via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yes,
Mr. Stanislaus. Good afternoon to you.
Yes. Good afternoon. I would just like to make a comment on the press release which was put out yesterday afternoon by the Sufra Foundation regarding the increase in the fees for the vendors and the jetties. It is welcoming by me and, of course, by many people in Sufra, including those who are going to be impacted by this increase. However, there are questions that still remain to be answered. In the release, it is said that the further consultations will be taking place, but there was no time given for those consultations. There was nothing mentioned of who the participants will be in these consultations. We are still waiting to hear from the foundation regarding works to be done at the Sulphur Springs Park, which is in a mess right now. You've heard it from persons who go there on a daily basis to do business, taxi drivers and tour operators. The jetties in Sufra are still in a mess, severely compromised. You have persons, boaters, still bringing people there to disembark and embark on the jetties. We are asking the question as to whether the jetties were insured and whether the foundation have received any payments from insurance to take care of the repairs of the jetties. But Tim, the press release they put out tells you that the voice of the people matters. The unity, the strength, the togetherness of the people. Once the people are able to come together and bind together, stay together, and demand proper governance, demand accountability, transparency, they are going to get it. If the boaters in Sufra did not take collective action and refuse to disembark on that jetty and pay $10 instead of the $2.75 they were paying, instead they went to disembark and embark their passengers on the beach at the Hummingbird Beach Park, the foundation would not have moved. But they have realized that the people are frustrated, people are angry, people are very displeased, and people are ready for action to show them that the power lies in the hands of the people of Sufra and, by extension, the people of St. Lucia. So I'm calling on the foundation to do the necessary works to repair those jetties. We are, in the next couple of months, we will be coming back, entering the winter season, October, November, and there is no sign of any works being done on the jetties. I'm also making a plea to the parliamentary representative for Sufra Funds and Jack about the Sufra cemetery. We still have the boats in the cemetery. The cemetery is now overgrown with grass. The cemetery wall have not been repaired, and we are in the hurricane season, Tim. We are in the 5th day of the hurricane season. Who knows the weekend next week what is going to happen with the effects of climate change and the frequency of those storms. So I am asking them to put the people first, as they promised, and do the necessary for the people of Sufra Funds and Jack. But we want to know, when is the consultation going to take place regarding the fees, and also who are the participants they are going to invite to those consultations. And still, yes, they have put a pause on the fees, but you still have vendors and the boat owners still thinking, it is still looming over their heads, that at one point in time, those fee increases will be put on them. So with that, Tim, enough. Before I end, Tim, I think that the parliamentary rep said that she was not aware of any increases. There was not any increases on vendors and jetties. But if there was no increase on jetty fees and vendors, why the press release admitting a pause on the increases, Tim?
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Just so they're from former MP for Sufra, Francis Jacques, and currently he is the United August Party candidate for that constituency, Mr. Harold Stanislas. Let me turn my attention to Amanda. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Are the folks in the chat room misbehaving? Amanda.
Good afternoon, Tim. Not really.
Okay.
A few comments from earlier. NewsSpin says they're too late. They're just buying time, gambling on an election to win, to fix what they've already destroyed. The people won't forget the mess you've created. Another comment here reads, we need a serious human rights council in this country to look after the legal needs of citizens who are not able to afford the exorbitant upfront legal fees from private lawyers. A NewsSpinner says there we need a serious... Okay, I read that already. Another comment here reads, everything is back to front with this administration. After the adjustments have already been made, that's when you will have discussions with the people affected. Someone says, they recall the minute black people have money, they spend it. So have you seen the lengths we go to stretch $1? We've turned $20 into a Sunday lunch, a school snack, a hairstyle, and offering at church, all in one weekend. That's not reckless spending, that's budgeting with flair. Our commentary reads, call with all due respect, nonsense. To say universal healthcare can't work in St. Lucia is like saying rain can't fall in June. Not only is it wrong, it's embarrassingly short-sighted. A NewsSpinner says their team, will Tyson get a pension after his services to St. Lucia? I heard England will be putting a pension for the K9 units after their services, and the prices is in negotiations for them at this moment. Another commentary reads, universal healthcare is not about being rich, it's about being smart. Countries poorer than St. Lucia like Sri Lanka and even our Caribbean neighbors like Cuba and Barbados have functioning universal healthcare systems. It's about political will, proper planning and spending priorities, not GDP. Another commentary reads, how are we talking about health insurance and we don't even have a proper hospital? Someone says here, the UWP needs to launch a full independent investigation, set up an independent, transparent commission to investigate the GPH deal, how it was negotiated, who benefited, and what went wrong. Why? The people deserve to know the truth, not just spin from politicians. SLP must go. And someone says there, she is absolutely right. Unless an injunction is filed, it's all talk and no action. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Let's see if we have a call on the line. In the meantime, what's happening on the WhatsApp platform? The people of Banans Bay need someone to help them to do the right thing, because some of them, according to the Prime Minister, once you spend over 30 years or more years, you will be entitled for the land. You're not paying nothing or anything. Somebody help them, please. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, do you know there is a Calypso show going on right now at Marsha, Tim? Shaking my head. All right, that's a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have some more of your messages to go through. Somebody says that, greetings, Tim, the GPH deal is a nightmare bordering on the horror movies of old. The citizens should band together most urgently and file a judicial review of the GPH agreement, for that deal with the government of St. Lucia is a clear and present danger to the security of the island, including her socio-economic well-being. Do not leave it all up to the UWP. Citizens should wake up in the same way that they banded together against the Alan Shasty administration and protect St. Lucia's patrimony. Let me see if I have any more messages to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, they say the best politicians are those in opposition. And there's a reason that resonates with so many people. Because when politicians are in opposition, they suddenly remember how to speak with passion. They remember the people. They remember the struggles in the streets, the families who can't make ends meet, the hospitals without beds, the classrooms without teachers, and the roads full of potholes and promises. In opposition, they are bold. They criticize loudly. They march proudly, and they promise change. They stand on podiums and speak about justice, fairness, and accountability. They ask all the right questions. They demand transparency. They stand shoulder to shoulder with the very people who were once ignored. Why? Because they want to win power. They want trust back, And so in opposition, they become what they should have always been, the voice of the people. But the problem is, once in power, that voice grows quiet. The promise fades. The speeches become excuses. Suddenly, they're too busy, too important, too far removed. They forget the pain they used to point out. They forget the urgency they once preached. They forget the people they once swore to fight for. And that's the tragedy of modern politics. It's easier to oppose than to serve. It's easier to promise than to deliver. And it's easier to blame than to take responsibility. So maybe it's not that the best politicians are in opposition. Maybe it's that we only see their best when they're in opposition, because that's when they need us. That's when they act like they care. True leadership is not about how loud you can be in opposition. It's about how accountable you remain in power. The real leaders are those who stay connected after the cameras are off, after the election is won, after the parade ends. They don't disappear into office chairs and forget their promises. They show up every day for the people. So let's stop being impressed by who can shout the loudest in opposition and start demanding more from those who hold the power to make real change. Long, but certainly thought-provoking. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, we'll be hearing from Guy Joseph. How will a United Workers' Party government deal with the GPH affair?
On Saturday, June 14th, as the island ignites at Lumina, taking over Project Chocolat, Mikal Teja. Mikal Teja. Mikal Teja.
Call out in New York City. If you're yes, she ballin', I need a little rundown.
Alongside soca sensations Ezra and Sly. Backed up by the electrifying Impulse Band. Music by Hype Kid, A1 Jugglers, The Gal DJ Sir Lancelot. Powered by Island Sounds. Hosted by MC Donnaville. Tickets $130, no door sales. Get yours at the Cell, Island Wide, Mambo's Bar in Sufra, or online at 4circlestickets.com. On Saturday, June 14th, Lumina. From 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Dress code Caribbean chic.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelec at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow, flow, flow.
Party with Guinness and fly to St. Kitts. Guinness St. Lucia is giving you a shot at an all-expense-paid trip to the St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to 28th, 2025. Experience top dancehall and soca acts from across the region. Buy 2 Guinness or 2 Guinness Smooth to enter. Drop your receipt in promo boxes or DM to We Brew Vibes on Instagram. You must be 18 and over to participate with a valid passport. Prize is non-transferable. Promotion runs May 12th to June 16th with the big draw on June 18th. Plus, look out for Guinness block parties, giveaways, and specials island-wide. Travel sponsored by Sunrise Airways. Guinness, made of more.
I in a good spirit. I drink in a good
St.
spirit.
Lucia, are you ready for the ultimate all-inclusive?
Chalet Blanc, the all-white event. Tier 1 now available at Frontline Ticketing, Eventbrite, Digital Baywalk Mall, 4 Circles Ticketing, or WhatsApp at 240-344-8629. A musical journey curated by the best local and international DJs. St. Lucia Carnival Saturday, July 19th, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
At Sanders Golf and Country Club, Kappa State.
Look something to talk about.
Unlimited drinks, brunch buffet, top-class entertainment.
Stay tuned. This event is powered by One Golden Fox and Natalie Events.
Why suffer in silence? At La Clinique de Corps, an approved universal healthcare clinic, you now have direct access to a team of internationally trained specialists from the US, France, Cuba, Venezuela, and more right here in St. Lucia. We treat chronic pain, sciatica, arthritis, lupus, nerve damage, carpal tunnel, and more with precision and care. We also offer advanced diagnostic nerve testing to detect hidden issues early before they become serious. All health insurances accepted. We assist you every step of the way. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950 today. La Clinique de Corps, where healing begins.
Looking for amazing deals on tiles? Mark your calendars. Every last Thursday of the month, the Tile Gallery is offering up to 50% off on selected tiles. Whether you are renovating your kitchen, updating your bathroom, or giving your entire home a fresh new look, now is the time to transform your space and save big. Enjoy up to 50% off on selected tiles. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to upgrade your home without breaking the bank. Visit M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt locations for more details.
Calling all teens. This one's just for you. Get ready for the KFC Teen Socarama happening Saturday, June 28th from 12 to 6 p.m. at Serenity Park. It's a full day of teen talent on display. Junior soca and calypso artists, kiddie carnival bands, fashion, drama, games, and non-stop vibes. Come out and let's have some good, clean fun. No alcohol, just finger-licking goodness. So tell a friend, grab your crew, pull up to KFC Teen Socarama. See you there.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin. It's on Power 97.9 FM, also the NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as on YouTube. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. I understand that the government gives the hospital about half of the money it needs to provide better health care for St. Lucians, yet it still charges the hospital hundreds of thousands of dollars in VAT and health and security levy every year. Universal health care will definitely help in providing better health care and prevent the hospital from running out of money every year. The climate analyzer wants to know why the government is still refusing to remove the VAT and the health and security levy on the hospital. And that was a WhatsApp message. Let's take a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, team. How are you?
I'm okay, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
How is Amanda?
Good afternoon, Cole. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Tim. Did you hear the comment made by Timothy Manga?
Yes. About what?
What do you think of that?
About
that black and white thing.
Well, I mean, I don't subscribe to that, and I've been speaking vehemently against this for several years. I don't believe in even calling people foreigners. When you see the person is a foreigner, it's as if that person is from another planet. I judge people based on the color of their skin or based on their height and how they look, etc. I don't think that should come into the politics at all. But unfortunately, we hear it from both sides talking about black and white. There's no place for this in our society.
Timothy, this is disgusting, whether from whoever it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
This is disgusting, and we should not encourage that. This needs to stop. We already have too much crime, too much division for politicians to be spreading more hatred and talking all this nonsense on a platform. You understand? I will never encourage that, no matter where it comes from. Now, I want to address Aaron Alexander. He was quick to condemn what what's the man name? Timothy Mangle said. But he needs to condemn the other politicians who every time they open their mouth, this one white and this one wasn't born here and this one is a foreigner and Black Lives Matter and all kind of things. If he has to be consistent, don't criticize one and leave the other out. You understand? Because Timothy Mangle stood on the UWP platform. Everybody knows I'm a UWP, but I call a spade a spade. When politicians in my party do nonsense, I say they do nonsense. And this is Timothy Mangle. That should never come out of his mouth. You hear what I'm telling you? And we as UWPs, we do not need to encourage these things because we get annoyed when people call Shasney white and all these racist things, when they call our leader that. So we should be condemning these kind of statements. And Timothy Mangle need to watch. I don't know what is wrong with some of these politicians, Tim. You hear me? Now, Aaron Alexander, all the Black Lives Matter, all the racist things he's spreading, he needs to stop it. It starts with him. Since he can come and criticize what Timothy Mangle said, it needs to start with him because he's one of those who spreads the most racism in St. Lucia. And I'm not lying. There's evidence of it. You heard what I'm telling you? Now, no matter, this needs to stop from the politicians, from everybody. People on Facebook attacking one another about this one is house slave, and this is nonsense. We need to stop that. That's not bringing our country nowhere. It's just causing more pain, division, crime, people hating people. We have enough of that in our small island for people to be opening them up and talking foolishness. Thank you, team.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your point of view with us. 4522979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon,
Timothy. Thank you for taking my call. Good afternoon, Amanda. Today, I'm very annoyed and I'm very disappointed in the government. Now, some people will say you're always disappointed, but this one is even more extreme. And the reason for this is a few days ago, I made a statement right here on NewsSpin, and I talked about a shortage of flour on the island. And I talked about bakeries that were shutting down because of the instability of the supply of flour. And lo and behold, the government will now put out a video press release showing that the government warehouse is full of flour. The problem is, this was not a speculation. It was a fact based on my lived experience as a supplier and on the reports from bakeries that had to shut their doors due to the instability of the flour, of the supply of essential ingredients. In response to that, the government of St. Lucia released that video press statement showing flour stored in the government warehouse, claiming that my statement was categorically false. Let me make it clear, Timothy. I stand by every word I said. It is easy, far too easy, for a government to respond after the fact with a video and declare that everything is fine. But the reality for businesses like mine is different. We live in a world of real-time consequences, not edited footage. The fact remains that during those 2 days that I spoke of, there was no flour. On the third day, the mill resumed the supply and I was able to get a stock from the government warehouse. Then conveniently, a video appeared to suggest that I was lying. Let me commend the government, Timothy, where credit is due. The Prime Minister and his administration have an exceptionally skilled PR and communication team. Their ability to craft narratives and respond quickly on social media and otherwise is admirable. But just imagine if they spent even half of that energy crafting policy that benefits the people of St. Lucia. Imagine if solving real problems mattered more to them than spinning the optics. The deeper issue here, Timothy, is one of sustainability and neglect. Bakeries are closing down, not because they want to, but because they can't function in an environment where today there is flour, tomorrow there is none. Today there is sugar, tomorrow it disappears again. Suppliers like myself cannot sustainably supply our clients, many of whom are bakeries in the South, if we ourselves are dealing with erratic, unreliable supply chains. I also must ask, why did the government allow the contract with the mill to expire before proper negotiation? Why are suppliers in the south of the island not permitted to purchase directly from the mill, but instead must transport flour from Castries at an added cost that we cannot recover? This is not the first time we face such injustice. Between 2011 and 2016, the Ministry of Commerce removed the subsidy on flour, sugar, and rice. Merchants in the south were expected to sell those products at fixed subsidized prices without actually receiving a subsidy. I was paying $1.10 for a pound of flour and for a pound of flour and sugar, and $1.50 for a pound of rice, but expected to sell them at $1 and $1.25 respectively. Our businesses became unwillingly and unacknowledged arms of the government welfare. At one point during this crisis, I had to call the Ministry of Commerce and explain the dire situation. Initially, I was told that the ministry couldn't fix it. I spoke directly with the Minister for Commerce, who also insisted that nothing could be done. Only when I made it clear that I would be forced to start sending staff home because there was simply nothing to sell and no way to sustain a payroll did the minister finally act. Let me also be clear, Timothy. We are not operating a charitable organization. This is not a government agency. This is a commercial enterprise, a business. And when there is no product, there is no income. How can the government expect businesses like mine to survive under these conditions? But what's even more concerning is the pattern. Every time there is a national breakdown, it is the South that suffers the most. It is the South that is made to feel the brunt of the fallout. And frankly, it is beginning to feel like the people of the South are being punished for the historic loyalty to the St. Lucia Labour Party. This cannot continue. Mr. Prime Minister, this is a direct message to you. If you expect the people of the South to continue supporting your party, fix the problems. This isn't about personality. This isn't about policy. This isn't about optics. This is about people's livelihoods. And truthfully, it is already too late. The damage is already done. The trust is broken. The communities are frustrated. The businesses are struggling. When your government has demonstrated, what your government has demonstrated is not just poor planning, not just a reactive leadership, but gross negligence. So no. Don't show us what's in your warehouse after the crisis is over. Show us leadership. Show us policy. Show us that you care about the economic survival of St. Lucians, not just the political survival of your administration. We don't need PR, Mr. Prime Minister. What we need is progress for the people of the South. Thank you so very much, Timothy, for listening to me.
Thank you so much. Let me turn now attention to the question of the day, the NewsSpin question of the day. Who will put the people of Bannans Bay first? Who will put the people of Bannans Bay first? Our NewsSpin question of the day. Now we hear from Mr. Guy Joseph. How will the United Workers' Party administration deal with GPH?
We know what we are going to do. But if we declare what we are going to do, it will be used against us in court. Because we will end up in court with GPH. So because we know the litigating factors, because we've investigated, we've sought legal advice on it, we've looked at the possible things that can be done, and I know we may not be able to get out of the agreement in Castries, but we can create a counter agreement that is going to reduce the overall impact of what GPH can do to St. Lucia. So because we have to act responsibly, there are certain things we cannot disclose, but trust me, we've had teams of people working on that, and we know the way forward on.
Just there from First Deputy Political Leader of the Opposition United Workers' Party, Mr. Guy Joseph, speaking last evening during an appearance on the DBS program News Maker Live. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, scientists in Japan develop plastic that dissolves in seawater within hours. Scientists in Japan develop plastic that dissolves in seawater within hours. The NewsSpin news of the day, bringing to a conclusion our Thursday edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.